day 8 of our 12 days of yoga. So day 8 means we're going to be working with some twists and rotation. So hopefully you're feeling limber today. If you're not feeling limber just yet, don't worry. I'll work with you so that you feel a little more limber. I feel like we're a little bit dark on the screen. I'll turn some lights up. And lovely to have everyone. Thanks for joining. Again, as I always say, you coming to the mat is for you. Our ability to co-create this practice is the key to everything. In a lot of cases, I can't see you in this particular vantage point, so I'll trust that you know what's too far and what's far enough for you to move through today. So we're going to work on our twists and rotations. We'll start today in a seated position, crossed legs. So I'm going to step back to my mat here. Find your way to a comfortable seated crossed legs. And before we start moving and rotating and twisting and contorting our body, we want to limber it up. So take your hands onto your knees, close your eyes. First, draw the breath in completely and sigh it away fully. Do that 2 more times to fully arrive, fully land here on your mat. A welcoming of your breath to your body with an awareness, a deeper connection than perhaps you landed here with. Now gradually turn your chin over your left shoulder and take a full breath in. And as you exhale, turn your chin over your right shoulder. Full exhale. And inhale, chin over your left shoulder. Try to keep the eyes closed if you can. Exhale, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, like you were looking left, but your lids are closed. You're looking to see what's available in your neck rotation. Exhale to the right. Do about 3 more here. Inhale left. And exhale right. As you come back through center, pull your chin down into your chest and fill your lungs so that your chest is sort of billowing up towards your chin. As you exhale, feel the chest almost deflate downward, but keep the chin pointed in the same direction. If anything, pull the chin in a little tighter without rounding your upper back. Just a nice stretch for the upper neck. You'll take your hands to interlace and just place the hands sort of at the nape of the neck and then slide the hands up so the pinky fingers almost catch the base of the skull, the occipital ridge, and just gently pull forward and then let the weight of your elbows fall towards the earth just to get a little more tug on the upper neck shoulder connection. You're pulling more forward than you are down. One more breath, filling the lungs so that the chest lifts towards the chin. And as you exhale this time, press the chin away from the chest and the head into the backs or into the hands behind you. So the back of the head presses up to neutral. You'll open your eyes here, elbows pull wider. As the elbows pull a little wider, remember to bring the shoulders down from the ears. And now start to travel your eyes, just the eyeballs and the sockets, up towards the ceiling. And you'll feel a little pressure of your head into your hands. Take those 3 extra breaths, reminding the upper back to relax, so the shoulder blade, the scapula to slide down. and the chin to gently start to push towards the ceiling, but without letting the head collapse, so the hands can hold it here, lifting the fingers up, so the pinky fingers gliding up the back of the skull. So a bit of decompression for your neck and your shoulders here. And we're going to carry these hands all the way up the back of the skull and turn the palms to the sky. Take a full breath in and turn to your right as you exhale. Take another breath in. Turn a little further as you exhale, and this time release the hands so they'll come down, left hand in front, right hand behind, or left hand can now catch your right knee. Look over the right shoulder for a little extra in the upper neck. Where your eyes go, your body wants to follow. And then come back around through center. Catch the knees for a moment, lift the chest up, little up dog, and then round it back, exhale. Good, sit up tall again. We'll interlace the hands, press the palms forward, reach up to the sky. Full breath in. Hold it for a moment, turn to your left, and exhale, turn a little further. Full breath in. Turn a little further if it's available. Just going to your edge, release the hands so your left hand lands behind you and your right hand can come in front or catch the outer left knee. Giving a little bit of lifting traction for your mid-lower back, and then look over the shoulder as you exhale. Tall as you breathe in, and rotating, shoulders shrugging down as you exhale. Unwind back to center, catch the knees, lift the heart up, and then round it back. All right, coming on to all fours. So send the legs back behind you. Give them a little shake out if they need it. A little reach back. And with the toes tucked under, sit your hips onto your heels and again sway the hips side to side. You're getting a little more movement in the rib cage, adding that element of water. So as we come forward and back here, I want this to be a big wave. So let your head fall heavy. Lift your upper back into a rounded cat spine, come forward so that your shoulders are over your wrists. And then inhale, letting the tail rise, the chest come forward and up. And then as you exhale, you'll round it back and sit your hips way back onto your heels. Now, if you inhale to come up, that's fine too. Just take an extra breath. Exhale fully in that rounded back. And then pull forward. And all we're doing here is expanding and contracting the space between the vertebra like a big wave, flooding in and flooding out. Ripple up and forward on your inhale, letting the shoulders roll back. Try not to jet the chin forward, but simply allow there to be some flexion and extension here. One more time, just a big arcing open and a full rounded back. Now at the back of your mat, we'll stand up onto the knees, reach the arms to the sky, hands to heart center. Be mindful of your knees here. We will spend some time on the knees, so cushion if needed. Shift onto your left knee and swing your right foot forward into a lunge. You can step as far forward as your hips will allow. So if you're really working a hip opening, we're going to start with a simple twist and we'll deepen it as we go. Right hand to knee, left hand to the floor. Pull your hips back to start. Pull your ribs up, and then as you exhale, slide the ribs forward and deeper into your right knee and look over your right shoulder. Stay for 3. Now if you have a block or a prop here, under your hand can feel really good. Option to take the right arm to the sky, or even reach it around behind you like you want to grip onto the back or the front of your hip with the back of your hand. Now, when we twist deeply, we're activating the spinal system, all the fluid between the joints, just like all our other joints, but really focusing on all the many joints in the spine. Right hand comes inside your right foot. You can put your block there if you've got one. Left hand to your ribs, and we counter twist gently the opposite way, pulling the hips forward and looking over that left shoulder. Again, the left arm can reach or reach around behind towards your right hip. Breathe for 3, for 2. To release the arm from behind, bring it back down. We'll come back up into our lunge. Inhale, hands to heart center. Push off your front foot, so you're more over your back knee for balance. You can lift the toes and then balance your way back onto your knees. That's a lot of stability work as well. So we shift onto the right foot, lift the left knee, create some rotation in the hip, step forward. You might find the depth of your lunge and back off. And then lean left hand onto knee, right hand to the floor. Take a breath. Pull the hips back as you find that inhalation. Then as you exhale, lean forward and roll the chest open. Left arm to the sky or reached around behind you. Full breath in. Full breath out. Looking over the shoulder. If it's enticing to use the eyes, look further with your eyeballs and notice how your body wants to follow. Now release the hand from behind, bring it around in front, hand on or off a block inside the knee, right hand to ribs, little opening twist, right arm to the sky. Option to bring it around to the left hip. As you look over the shoulder, melt your hips forward. Release the arm from around behind. Come back into your lunge, sweep up. Hands to heart. And then pull the hips back and land back into your lunge. Bring the hands back into our downward dog or puppy dog position. And we'll lift the hips to the sky. So we are working our rotation, but we want to entice the whole body into some movement. So high plank, breathe in. Lower to your belly, breathe out. Point the toes and lift the heart, little cobra. Forward and down, exhale. Now a really nice release for your upper neck and shoulders is to take your hands off the mat to little finger pads. Point the elbows to the sky and roll the heads of the arm bones back. I like to think if I was on a surfboard here, I feel the little rib nuggets, and then lift the chest just high enough that my face is not in the water or touching the board. So on your inhale, you're coming just a little higher, and you're looking over your right shoulder and letting your left shoulder now come forward and down. Maybe touch the ear to the floor, and then roll your left shoulder back. And look over the left hand and let the right shoulder ear come down. So we're waving the spine up and a subtle rotation, exhale down. Keep the legs active so the lower back stays happy, and just float up and back on the in-breath and look the other way on the out-breath. And if your breath doesn't match mine, just move at your pace. And we'll just do a couple more here. So twisting and rotating doesn't always have to be to the fullest expression, but it can be just an enticement and a repetitive action of looking over that shoulder and asking the spine to go a little further. Do one more each way. As you come back through center, slide the hands back under the shoulders, tuck the toes, up and back, puppy dog, into downward dog. Now this time we'll take the right leg way up behind us, step the right foot forward, come into a tall lunge. A little balance work here. You can do this with your knee on the floor. So if you're feeling you need more stability today, come on down. Hands to heart. Taking a deeper twist here. Move forward on your inhale. Left elbow outside of your right knee as you exhale. Now again, if your balance is challenged, lower the knee. Really get that left elbow outside the femur. Look at your big toe with your eyes and start rotating by pushing right hand into left. Stacking elbow on elbow. Now, if you want to challenge your balance, lifting the knee, making the back leg straight, or just simply looking over your shoulder might be enough. Use the exhale through your low belly to get a little more rotation. Now from here, when we untwist, we're coming to warrior two. So you'll inhale to untwist, heel comes down, rising up, exhale. Getting a little into these hips too today. Full breath in, sitting down as you breathe out. Soften at the elbows, and then tilt the left hand to your back thigh and your right arm to the sky. Stretching open the side waist. Watch you're not compressing your lower back here. Lift your ribs up, even use your hand to support, and hip on the hand on the hip to help create some anchoring down to lift out of your waist. You can bend your elbow, touch the back of your skull, give it a nice little traction here, lift up, press the head to your arm, open your side waist a little further. And we release here, we cartwheel to the floor, come back into your lunge, downward facing dog. Full breath in and a sighing breath out. Left leg to the sky. Step the left foot forward. Keeping the knee lifted for more challenge. Lowering the knee if it's not needed today. Hands to heart. Shifting forward as you breathe in. And elbow outside of your knee as you breathe out. Now using the hand to help wrap that knee. And again, if you lower the knee for a moment, get stable, get set, look down, and then lift the knee up. Then you can find your place of work. Maybe it's simply focusing on more exhalation, calming the nervous system. Maybe it's straightening your back leg and making that your power, your energy source. Perhaps looking over your shoulder to challenge your proprioception, your balance. Set your eyes to one point if you are looking up or to the side. And again, to come out of here, we're untwisting and opening to warrior two. Feel for your pinky toe of your back foot. Get tall at center. Bend at the elbows slightly. Catch the inner thigh. Left arm to the sky. If you come out of your front knee, keep melting back into it. Catch the back of the skull. Point the elbow up. Hand can even come around to the side of the hip if you'd like. Sometimes enticing the hip back gives us more space. Other times the hand on the back hip and lifting out of the waist can feel better. 2 more breaths. Then cartwheel the arms to the mat. Come back to your lunge, downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Now we'll step to the top of the mat and find your way to a seat. Now I'm going to turn to the face forward, but you can keep your feet off the edge of your mat. Now from here, we'll take the hands forward Outstretch the legs. Now, if you have a tendency when your legs go straight, that your lower back slouches, either prop something under your knees or press your knees down to lift, or sorry, press your heels down so your knees lift, getting a little taller in your lower back. It's important to keep the spine in that nice length before we rotate. Now from here, we'll interlace, press forward, press up. Take an inhale tall, exhale shoulders down. Inhale tall. Hold the breath and rotate towards the right. Exhale, once you reach your limit, go a little further. You might even feel your left leg want to push forward and your right hip pull back. Keep your big toes touching. As you release your hands, you'll catch the outside of your shin and your right hand behind you. And you'll slowly push off your right hand and slide your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Now your knee might bend a lot here. That's fine, create the rotation. But now we're adding a little outer leg stretch. Keep the legs like they're on railway tracks. Lift your front foot up so you're sitting tall, but you're facing the long edge of your mat. Now the knee can stay bent, but plug your shoulder in and then start to kick your heel towards the ceiling. Now while you're here, you're a little bit in that balancing act of push-pull. So plug shoulders in, push heel out, pull in, push out. Find your balance and then maybe float your right arm. The knees can stay bent, but you're working them straighter in time. Now to come out, the leg is bringing us forward. The right hand's going to follow, and you'll catch the outside of your left pinky toe with the other hand. So your wrists are crossed. When you catch here, and if that's too far, hold the outer shins, no problem. And then bow your chin in between your arms and widen your elbows. And release your feet, come all the way up, inhale. Release your hands, exhale. Other side, hands together, interlace, press the palms, reach up, inhale. Exhale, shoulders down. Inhale, tall. Begin to rotate to the left. As you exhale, go a little further. Keep the big toes connected, the knees slightly bent. Then release the hands. One hand outside the shin, left hand behind you. Use your left hand to walk you forward and catch the outside of your left foot. Once you've caught it, you can bend it to bring it in and sit up. And then start to kick the heel forward. We want to be mindful as you're not crossing leg over legs. If you look forward, the legs are still on railway tracks. Plug the shoulder in. Keep the breath moving. If you're finding you're rounding, bend the knee more, sit up taller first, and then kick the heel up. Option to float the back hand if you're feeling centered. You can always lean back further, but otherwise stay right at center. One more breath. Then press with the heel forward. It'll cartwheel the left hand around. Catch the outer pinky toe. Breath in, tall. And then elbows bend wide, chin to chest, curl inward. Release the feet, reach up. Hands by your sides. And we'll come onto our belly. So sweep your legs around behind you. We're going to take what I call almost a reverse twisting. Often we lie on our back and take a twist. This time we'll lie onto our belly. We'll start with arms and little cactus. So if you have the space, go straight out from your shoulder. Let the chest be heavy and take your left cheek onto the floor. Bend your right knee. Keep your chest heavy. Lift your right knee. And that's going to activate your glute, your back body. And then as you press gently with your chest down, lift your knee up and back behind you, little scorpion tail. You're stacking your right hip on your left. Now you might find your right shoulder comes up, or you might even bring your fingertips to help press you more open. But I like to do the counter, which is to bring the heart down, bring your elbow down, but kick your foot up and back behind. Active toes, active breath. Keep sliding your left arm further away from you to keep the heart melted. Open the front of the chest. And gradually unwind. Bring your hip, your knee, and your toes back to touch. Bend your left knee. Turn your cheek. Right cheek down. Left knee lifts. Then lift up and back so you're stacking. Left hip on top of right. You're reaching for the wall over to the far side. And again, you can bring the hand under the shoulder if you want to get more upper back rotation. But really, that's keeping the spine out of rotation. So if you start to melt your heart back down, you'll create a deeper connection to the space between your shoulder blades. Now I've got this wall here, so I get a little bit of push off it, but I can push the toes towards, if there was no wall here, it's like I'm trying to reach back and maybe touch the floor. Come back around through center. And we'll do one more on each side, this one just with breath. Left cheek onto the floor, right knee bend. Lift the knee, inhale. Kick it back, exhale. Inhale through center. Switching sides, exhale, right cheek comes down, bend the left knee, inhale, lift, exhale, kick back. Inhale, center, exhale, release. Hands under shoulders, press up and back, child's pose. Should feel really nice to soothe the low back. Rest your forehead. Arms can come by your sides. Palms to the sky. Forehead heavy. Deep breath in. Full sigh out. Bring the hands under your shoulders as you roll up. And we'll make our way onto our backs. You can crawl up the mat. Spin your feet around in front. And as you lie back, bring the knees into your chest. And we'll still take a reclined spinal twist to finish here. It's very simple, very effective. Arms open, cactus or straight out. Left leg straight, right knee bent. Lift your hips and slide them and lower them to the right. And let your right knee cross over. There's lots of ways to make this a deeper stretch, but with all the rotations we've done, allow this to be a space of full serenity, full release, full empty, so that there's space in the mid-body, space in the rib cage, and your right shoulder is still touching the mat. It's melting back. Your right knee might not be on the floor, but you could guide it that way with your left hand if you choose. Come back through center on your in-breath. Shimmy the hips back underneath. Right leg straight, left knee bend. Hips to the left. And left knee across to the right. If you want to use your right hand to guide it, try to keep the shoulders exactly as they were if the knees weren't twisting or creating this rotation. Close your eyes. As you unwind back to center, To soothe the whole spine, bring the knees into the chest, one hand on each knee, and circle the knees clockwise, like you're imprinting your tail into the mat, and then counterclockwise. Deep inhale and sighing exhale. Release your feet to flat. Knees can fall in, so if ever in your lower back you feel compression, this is a great place to stay. Palms roll open. Otherwise, stretch your legs long, and we'll just take a minute here in Shavasana. If you have more time than a minute, then stay here longer. Relax the jaw. Sigh. To twist is to rinse, like taking a wet rag or sponge. To clear it out, we twist and we rinse. There's a vision in our mind that we can do this with our spine, though it doesn't work exactly the same way. It does invigorate this nervous system, opens up space for our neurons to travel more easily. It might create areas where we feel compression, which is a great indicator of the need for more space, more movement, so that we feel free as we move about the rest of our day. Again, staying here is an option, otherwise bending the knees and simply rolling to one side. Rising back to a tall seat. Back to where we started. Eyes closed. Bring your hands to greet at your heart center. Take a full breath in. A sighing breath out. Bowing inward to your commitment to keep moving. Mind, body through breath. Thank you for joining me for day 8 of 12 days. Namaste. And happy holidays. I look forward to seeing you again over the next couple of days. We're on the final countdown here. If you have any special requests for classes, you can send them my way. But otherwise, tomorrow we have back bends. So we've been sort of progressing up to, and by the end, much like yesterday, we'll move it into a fluid flow that sort of encompasses all elements. So I look forward to seeing you. Thank you, Amy. So good to see you. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 12 o'clock.